and these are some of my favorite math stories. In this episode, Mathematics is Prime. We'll look at a mystery from the early 1900s, one that became an important plot device in the movie Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Surprisingly, the mystery was solved partially by the use of prime numbers. Much of my information comes from the excellent book Decoding the Heavens, Solving the Mystery of the World's First Computer. In 1900, sponge divers working off the coast of the island Antikythera got a huge surprise. Large human body parts were scattered over the bottom of the bay. Once they recovered from the shock, they realized that they had stumbled on a trove of bronze and marble statues, clearly from an ancient shipwreck. Along with these awesome treasures, they salvaged a load of coins and containers, and one curious object no one was very sure about. It's so weird, maybe it's a little surprising they even kept it. After some inspection at the museum the material was taken to, the Antikythera mechanism, as it became known, was found to have gears. Since the statues were thought to be Greek and 100 BC or so, and no known device from before 600 AD had been found to have gears, the mechanism might not have been from the same shipwreck. Nevertheless, the mechanism is retained in the museum and is one of the items hidden from the Nazis in the Second World War. When the museum is reopened, however, the mechanism is not considered important enough to put back on display. By 1968, its main claim to fame was being cited by Erich von Däniken as evidence of Earth being visited by advanced aliens. In 1976, the renowned explorer Jacques Cousteau visited the Antikythera site, finding coins and pottery reliably dated to 100 to 50 BC. These items originated in Pergamon, Ephesus, and Rhodes, and were likely on a ship of Greek treasures being taken to Rome. The mechanism was X-rayed, and numerous gears were found, along with writing with astronomical terms. Perhaps this was an early astrolabe for navigation. In the 1990s and 2000s, more sophisticated imaging reveals some 27 gears with indications that in the original mechanism there were somewhere from 50 to 60 gears. What was this thing? Careful counting of the number of teeth in the gears showed that one had 223, one had 127, two of them had 53, one had 19, and these are all prime numbers. Well, why would that be important? Recall that prime numbers do not break down into smaller factors. 235 is not a prime because it can be factored as 5 times 47. 47 is a prime because it cannot be broken down further into smaller integers. Why would this be important for the number of teeth in a gear? Well, one of the purposes of a gear is to change speeds. In the picture, the larger gear has 30 teeth and the smaller gear has 20. If the larger one turns through 2 full rotations, 60 teeth have passed through, causing the smaller gear to complete 3 rotations. The smaller gear is rotating 1.5 times as fast as the larger gear. So what if the number of teeth is prime? You can't have any cancellation, as in 30 over 20, to produce a simpler ratio. That prime number must be part of a desired speed. Well, why would you want a speed of 223? Turns out the Greeks knew the Saros cycle, that lunar eclipses recur every 223 months. It takes 27.3 days for the moon to circle the Earth, so 19 solar years would give exactly 254 orbits of the moon, and 254 equals 2 times 127. There are 29.5 days between new moons, so 19 solar years equals 235 lunar months, and there was a gear with 235 teeth. The Antikythera mechanism was a sophisticated simulator of Earth-Moon interactions, including the elliptical path of the moon and eclipses, and possibly all of the known planets. My copy of the mechanism does not rotate, but a knob would allow a person to move time forward or backwards to date astronomical phenomena. You can see how the calendar rotated. The small circle inside the straight rod on the front contained a ball that was half black and half white, rotating to show the phase of the moon, along with information about eclipses and Olympiad schedules. Now, in the movie Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the mechanism became a time-traveling device that took Indiana Jones back to the time of Archimedes. Now, in fact, Archimedes was said to possess a device like the Antikythera mechanism, which may well be closely related to Archimedes' work. The mechanism is thought to have been made in Rhodes about 50 years after Archimedes' death, but much of the writing on the mechanism uses terms common to Archimedes' home of Syracuse. In any case, the mechanism has emphatically changed our conception of the mechanical expertise of the ancient Greeks, and it's not a huge exaggeration to call it the world's first computer.